Hello, welcome to Assembly Call. Today we are going to solve day 17 of July LeetCode challenge. So today's problem is top k frequent element. So if you read the problem statement, it's saying that you will be given one integer array. So you can check the first example. So you are given one integer array of length 6 and you are giving also another input 2. So you need to find top two most frequent element, right? So if you check the example, you can see that number 1 occurs 3 times, number 2 occurs 2 times, and number 3 occurs only 1 time. So in this case, the top two most frequent number is 1 and 2, because since frequency of 1 is 3 and frequency of 2 is 2. So I am going to return 1 and 2. So let's solve it using Java today. So I am going to use the bucket sort logic here. So what is bucket sort? I am going to create a bucket for separate frequency, and I am going to maintain a list. So kind of hash table concept, right? So I am going to at first create one bucket for 1, right? So for 1, I am going to maintain one list. For 1, this is for 3, right? For 3, since the number 1 occurs 3 times, so in the 3 frequency bracket, I am going to add the number 1 only, right? So now after that, I will check for 2. Yeah, I will see that number 2 occurs 2 times. So for frequency 2 bracket or bucket, I am going to add 3 only, right? 2 only, right? Sorry. Now what I need to do, I need to add here 1 frequency, right? For 1 frequency I have two numbers, 3 and 4, right? So I am going to add 3 and 4, right? And if you combine this bucket, it will look like this, right? It will be for 3 and it will be for 2, and there should be one bucket for 1, right? And for 3 frequency I have only one number, that is 1. Then for 2 I have only one number, 2. Then again for 3 I have two number, right? 3 and 4. So this is how our bucket will look like after creating, we iterate through the whole array list or whole array, right? Then what you can do, just iterate. So I need to keep track the most frequent number, right, or the maximum frequency, right? In this case is 3. So I will start from the top, and I will check the corresponding list, and I will pick those number and put it in my result array. So I will start from top, right? So here in this case, our top frequency is 3, right? So I pick that number 1. Then I will see that there is no more number for 3 frequency. Then I will come down and check for 2, right? In this case we have 2, and now we are going to return just 1 and 2, since we need to find top 2, right? So if your k value is 4, then again you will come back to 1 and you will take these two numbers, 3 and 4, right? And then you can return 1 2 3 4 like this. Okay, so let's solve it, and I will explain it further whenever it's required. So at first what I need to do, I need to sort the array, right? So it's not guaranteed that every time your array will be sorted, so I need to sort it first, right? So I can use the Java's inbuilt method of sort. Once we are done with that sorting, now I need to declare one array where I am declare a map where I am going to store it. So since my map key is a frequency, right? So it should be integer, and I'm going to store corresponding list there, right? So it should be list of integer, right? And let me name it as map, and let me initialize also. It should be an hash map. Okay, now I need to keep tracking the maximum number also, right? So let me declare one variable called max. You can say maxf, and let me assign minimum value initially. So it should be min underscore value, something like this. Okay, now I need to iterate through my array, right? Input array, right? So it should be int I equals to 0 and I less than nums dot length, then I plus plus. Okay, fine. Once we are done with this, then what I need to do, I need to take two counter to calculate the frequency, right? So initially it should be 0, then I need to take another counter. It should be j equal to I, then I need to run one. I will explain why I am doing it. So let me write it first. So it should be while I j less than nums dot length and nums of I equals to 0, right? So wherever these both of the two criteria match, I am going to increase my counter. Okay, now I am going to increase my j value was also, right? So using this we are just calculating the frequency, right? So if you see that I am starting from 1, for at first my number is 1, right? And it's a sorted array, so I know that my 1 will stuck together only. So I am starting it and checking the end position of 1. Okay, I find this is my end position, so this is my j value, right? And I am just incrementing my counter, right? So in this case I found my counter for 1 is 3, right? So that's my actual frequency, right? So I got my frequency. Now I am going to insert it in our map, right? So I need before inserting, I need to check that if that key is already exist or not in the map, so I need to use this counter only as a key. If it contains the counter, then I am going to just add it in the map only, or map list. So it should be counter dot add, and it should be dot, sorry for that, and I'm going to add my number, right? So it should be num size. Okay, yeah. And if it is not in the map, then I am going to create one new list, right? This is for the first time case, right? So it should be an integer list. Let me name it as L, then it should be an array list. Okay, fine. Now I am going to add my number in that list, so it should be num size. And once we are done with that list, I am going to add it in our map, right? So it should be map.put, and it should be counter, and the value will be L, right? Okay, so we are done with the map, right? So we created the map, or we inserted the value in our map, right? So once we are done with that, I need to recalculate my maximum, right? We are keep tracking the maximum frequency, right? So it should be maxf equal to math.max. So by using this, I'm just keep tracking of my maximum frequency, right? It should be maxf or counter. Okay, and once we are done this, so I need to change my I value also. So why we are changing this value? Because I know that I already iterated through this, right? So I need to start from the next location, right? From 2, right? So that I'm updating the i's value here. So after executing this, we will be ready with our map and with corresponding values. Fine. Okay. I think we are in good shape. Okay. Okay, now I need to take one result array which I'm going to return. It should be an array, and its type should be an integer, and its size should be k, right? Okay, and I'm going to take another value, probably you can say size, and it should be initially 0. So using this value, we are going to keep tracking the size of our result array, right? It should not exceed 1, right? So I need to iterate through our map and check, right? So at first I will start from the maximum location, right? So I need to keep checking that my max step should not fall below to 0, right? And another condition would be size should be less than k, right? Okay, that's good. Now I need to again check, since we are just creating map for the those frequencies which are exist in our array, right? So we are not creating any map for 0. For 0 it will point to null, right? So to avoid those null point exception, I need to check that map dot contains key maxf, and if it contains the value, then I am going to iterate through the list. So it contains one list, right? So it should be integer, and let me name it as I or num, and I am going to iterate through the list only. So it should be map.get, and it should be max. Okay, fine. Now I am going to just add it in our result array. Okay, so it should be result, and here my size, right? So it should be size plus plus, and I'm going to insert it here, right? Num. Okay, and that's pretty much, and I'm going to decrement my maxf value, right? So once we are done with the 3, then I'm going to decrement the maxf, right? And once we are done with this whole loop, we're just going to return our result. So let's compile it and check whether it's compiling or not. Okay, you can see it's give me expected answer. Let's submit it also and check whether it's accepted or not. Yeah, it's accepted. Let's check our time complexity and space complexity also. Yeah, you can see it's waiting the 99% of submission, and its runtime is just 5 seconds, right? So we are basically just using one map, and the value is storing those value in a list, right? So let me explain the code once again. So at first I sorted my array, because in our case input can be unsorted also, right? Then I took one map for storing all those key value. Here our key will be in frequency, right? This frequency, right? 3. So I created this, right? And then I run through this I run through my input array, and using this while loop I calculate the frequency of 1. Since it is sorted array, again I start from 2, I increment the I value and start check for 2, then 3, then 4, right? And so once we are done with this, I created this result array, and I again iterate through this. But in this case, whenever I will start iterating, I will start from my top frequency, right? 3. So I started with maxf. For that reason, I was using that max value, right? And so I will start with iterating from the max value, then I take corresponding array list or list and pick those value and add it on result list, and we iterate till my size is less than k, right? And we are returning the results. So that's pretty much for this video. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.